Good evening. On behalf of the Pleasant Hills School District School Board and myself, Scott Lindenberger, we would like to welcome you to our 2020 graduation ceremony. To the class of 2020 and to all of you that have supported our graduates, thank you. As you all know, we are living in interesting times due to the pandemic. As a school district, we have been preparing for our graduation ceremony. We know we could not provide our traditional pomp and ceremony because of the circumstances. So the question has become, what does graduation look like? That's the question that countless high schools and colleges across America has had to answer this year amid the global pandemic. Across the country, teachers, parents, students, and administrators came up with an array of creative and meaningful celebrations for the class of 2020. Our goal in the Pleasant Hills School District is no different in that we have tried our best to provide you with a meaningful graduation ceremony. Graduates, as you prepare to enter into the next phase of your life, I would say to you, stay close to home. Maybe not physically, but in every other way possible. Pursue every ambition, go as far as you can possibly dream, and embrace a new responsibility, a responsibility to strengthen our community. I want to leave you with one piece of knowledge, an idea we should all remind ourselves in times like these. It's not about the individual, it's about our community. You're going to be happiest, in my opinion, when you try to be selfless. As you get older, your interests and your skills will evolve. My advice is to be open to change. Don't be afraid to try something new. I hope you're proud of your achievements, and I hope you're eager to get to work so that decades from now, you may take a look around you and say you left things a little bit better than you found them. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Hey, class of 2020, we've missed you these last few months. We know your senior year has been unlike any other, and there are a few experiences that you've missed out on.
We'd like to take a minute to give you a taste of what those experiences might have been like. You ready?
Let's do this. Made it, last day of school.
So we talked all night about the rest of our lives, where we're gonna be when we turn 25. I keep thinking times will never change. Keep on thinking things will always be the same. But when we leave this year, we won't be coming back. No more hanging out, cause we're on a different track. And if you got something that you need to say, you better say it right now, cause you don't have another day. Cause we're moving on and we can't slow down. These memories are playing like a film without sound. And I keep thinking of that night in June. I didn't know much of love, but it came too soon. And it was me and you, and then we got real blue.
Here we are at Senior Awards Night. This is always a special occasion where the school honors all of your accomplishments. Cheryl reads all the scholarship dollars your class has earned, and that number blows me away every year. We honor those in National Honor Society and those who have excelled in areas like art and music. Usually I like to present awards to students like Logan Francis and Faith Huff and Morgan Murphy for their consistent hard work and positive attitude.
And I would typically give awards to students who push themselves to master calculus, like Maya Reddy, Maya Cunningham, and Henry Stoll. Even though you'll receive your awards in a different way this year, it does not diminish your accomplishments. Your class has left a legacy at Pleasant Hill High School that will not be forgotten.
Good job.
Wait, this isn't on Zoom?
Whoops. We've had the honor of speaking at senior breakfast the last few years. Now, your parents would have put together a much nicer spread and a nice off-campus location, but we're in the middle of a pandemic, so here we are. We like to start each year by thanking you all for a great year and talking about the things that we'll miss. I'll miss Tristan's hypothetical examples and the random senior who has been printing these kind of creepy pictures of me at random times throughout the school day.
I'll miss Emilio coming in to talk about the greatness of the Cubs and their one great year in their 117-year existence. After a little math, that's less than 1% success rate. We also had fun looking into the future and predicting some of the successful careers.
We would tell you about Hunter Rowland and how he founded a world-renowned and respected driving school with top instructors like Alondra Medrano, and how Sam Baker, finally having said all he needs to say, joins a Buddhist monastery and takes a vow of silence.
We would predict that Maddie Quick becomes president of Trident Gum after eating thousands of pieces of gum, mostly for the wrappers to put on her math binder. She has taken her expertise and put it to great use.
And after telling you about Vinnie Dimmick's travel agency that only accepts cryptocurrency for payments, we'd end by thanking you all again for a fantastic year, and then we'd sit down to have our second plate of breakfast.
Here we are at the spot of a normal graduation. We know the end of this year has been challenging, but we still wanted to give you a message from this special spot. This year has been a pleasure. These last 5 years have been special. I think back to our times in the portables, and it makes me smile to see how much you've changed and grown.
Teaching is a profession that we both love, and the reason we love what we do is because of all of you. I know you missed out on some memorable experiences this spring, but I take so many great memories of your class with me. Vivaldi, vibing, debates and discussions, clicker stealing and cahoots, my voice cracking on a daily basis, timing picks and TikToks I don't understand. I have fond memories of each and every one of you.
I would like to thank all of you for the impact you've had on my teaching career. Although your senior year was cut short, your impact on Pleasant Hill will live on forever. Now that you have worked to receive your diploma, the next step is choosing a career that you enjoy. My hope is you can find a career that fulfills your dreams and makes you feel happy.
We as an education system have asked you to be a lot of different things in your career as a student. Principals have asked you to be responsible and respectful. Teachers have asked you to be on time, and coaches have asked you to be a team player. Over these last few months, society has asked you to be patient, to be resilient, to be responsible and resourceful. The two of us want you to take all these lessons out into the real world and be determined, and be a hard worker, and be a good citizen. We know there are amazing things ahead for all of you. Go out, be great, class of 2020. We miss you, and we wish you all the best.
As we go on, we remember all the times we had together.
When writing this speech, I employed the thing we learned how to do best from high school: put it off until the last minute and then slap something together. It was especially difficult for me writing about the past, since it isn't a subject that I can copy word for word from the previous year's speeches that I was handed, and it is something I don't remember much of. What I do remember, however, is that we have been through a lot together as a class. We spent hours being forced to pull up Scotch Broom for field trips at Elijah Bristow. We got to enjoy 6th grade and 8th grade in portables, and we were convinced the Jogathon prizes were worth trying to raise money for. We've been through divisive elections, being told the world will end in 2012, and more recently that it will end by 2050. We have had iffy teachers who would yell at us, play on their phones the entire class period, or just be creepy. And while there are many unpleasant memories, there are many more good ones. We got to spend almost 4 years in a brand new school with new facilities and a mostly wonderful staff. We had fun trips to the coast, we got to play laser tag or bowl, and had swim lessons in 3rd grade. We got many wonderful new teachers and had wonderful old teachers too. We went through many different PE teachers, from Miller yelling at us while still looking at his phone, to Mr. Kent being way too nice, and that one teacher who wasn't here for very long for some reason. We got to see Thornton grow a beard, Gray shave his beard, and Meinzen get dressed up in many different costumes. We got to argue in class and make people cry, but it was all okay since it was technically a debate. We enjoyed sports and clubs together, had fun bus rides, won league and state titles, beat rivals, and set records. We had weeks of school canceled during the snowpocalypse, and then for some reason weeks of school added to the end of that year. We've had so many good memories, but right now, one thing overshadows the rest. Because of cancellations due to coronavirus, we've missed out on a lot. We didn't get our final sports season. We didn't have our senior prom. Senior skip day became months long, and we're having graduation in a weird format. Most of you are probably sad about what we missed out on, but remember, while we may have missed out on a lot of memories, we have made different ones instead. We will remember our time quarantined, and while it may not be a fond memory right now, it will become a fun story. Not many classes get to skip a semester of school and still graduate. During this time, while looking back at our time in school, remember all the good parts, the friends you made, all the things you learned, and the opportunities that were created. And as we look forward into an uncertain future, remember also that while we have no idea what is going to happen, our past has prepared us as best as possible.
Today I'll be talking about parents. The time has come. Now it may not look like we'd all hoped for, but the time has nonetheless come. Class of 2020, we're graduating. I know that we didn't get all the activities and special events that previous years had, but we all do have to recognize the accomplishment of finally finishing high school. However, it wasn't just us that accomplished this great feat. It was a team effort involving our beloved parents. It doesn't just have to be parents though. This can include any guardian or older figure you may have in your life, someone who has supported you in a way that truly made them special and close to your heart. Without them in our lives, it would truly bring our world upside down. Throughout my years in school, I've always been one of those kids who would constantly believe that I need my own space and can benefit the most by going through things of my own. I had those teen moments where my parents would get on my nerves sometimes, and I would wish for the time to come where I would be in control of every decision without the influence of others. There are many teens who can relate to this, as it is a very common stage that everyone experiences when growing up. However, with high school coming to a close, the reality I'd always pictured is approaching quickly, and being honest, I personally don't believe I'm ready for it. My parents have always been my backbone. They guide and help me through everything I do, whether it's as simple as assisting me with a school project or as difficult as teaching me to drive for the first time. Of course, I also remember the first time I've been grounded, but I do understand it was just to keep me focused and on track. I admire my parents greatly, as I've always leaned on them for support all throughout my life, and sometimes I believe that I forget how much I really do depend on them. The lessons I've learned and the examples that they've shown me is incredible, as I wish to do my best to implement them as I grow. As the time arrived, not only have I completed my stressful and activity-filled time at high school, but so have my parents. They deserve all the credit that I have been given. This, of course, is the case for everybody graduating. Our parent figures are there through it all, experiencing the ups and downs that you go through every day. We all have our own unique and wonderful stories that we share with them, that really brighten our world and motivate us to keep on going. We really do owe it all to them, as they continuously have put all their efforts into providing us with everything we need. It might not always be pretty at times. Arguments, disagreements, and frustration is always bound to happen. It's normal for everyone, but I want the students to take a moment to realize how amazing your parents have been. Take a moment to remember all the fun and loving times you've had with them, because they are here to love you endlessly, no matter the circumstance, and that gift is priceless. So I wanted to thank every parent figure out there. Thank you for all you've done for us. We've learned great amounts from you, and we'll do our best to use it in our future and pass it on through generations. It's now time to sit back as you watch us grow, and soon, hopefully one day, we can return the favor that you have given us. Thank you.
Hey there, class of 2020. Thanks for making it to my graduation speech via video, as you can see. And okay, maybe only my parents are watching this, but honestly, it's amazing that we've made it this far. We were born in the year of 9/11 and now we're graduating in the year of a pandemic. So honestly, what's next, guys? And after reading through literally every single speech that Pleasant Hill graduates have written since 1965, I'm finally here to tell you my speech about community and what it means for Pleasant Hill. In 1853, my ancestors, the Parkers, the Parvins, and the Matthews, arrived in Dexter, Oregon to make a new life for themselves. Except when they arrived, they found out that half the wagon party hadn't made it with them. They were part of what was called the Lost Wagon Train, except with my ancestors, they weren't actually the ones that lost. But honestly, if you've ever driven with me, you'd find that pretty hard to believe. So what did the Parvins, the Parkers, and the Matthews do after they had traveled over 1,500 miles? Did they get comfortable and forget about the rest of their party? No, they went back for them. My great-great-grandfather, James Parvin, and some others backtracked until they found the rest of their group, and then they brought them back to their new home and united their community. They even took families into their own home until those families could make it on their own. Then, in 1855, our ancestors established the first school in Dexter, and this was shortly after Elijah Bristow established the first school in Pleasant Hill, and his school was the very first school district established in all of Oregon. My ancestor, Ellis Parker, taught at the school for a good 60 years. And honestly, we all know that education is the bedrock of our community. But a school is just a building. It's the teachers that really make it a community and make school home for us. As all of you know, we have been incredibly blessed to have such phenomenal teachers at our school. From Mr. Neal's Monday Cahoots to Senora Watney's El Internado Viernes, they always gave us something to look forward to at school. And some of them even helped us vibe. I'm talking to you, Mr. Neal. Then, of course, you have Mr. Thornton and Mr. Gray, and these math teachers put in countless lunch periods to help us pass math, which was definitely not an easy feat. And they gave up a lot of food for us, so we should really be grateful. Then you have Ms. Champolsky and Mr. Kent, and these teachers are always one to offer a kind smile in the hallway and check in on how you're doing. And this is even if they only had us for like a semester or so freshman year. And last but not least, there's Mr. Meinzen and Miss Reed. These teachers are incredibly compassionate and very brilliant, and they're very, very good teachers. Mr. Meinzen kept us entertained with his mock trials, his debates, and all those silly skits he put on, but he also kept us educated. And he had the best snacks, but some of you know that a little bit too well. Poor Meinzen. And then you have Miss Reed, and she brought us the talent and skill of an AP grader as she transformed the meaning of an English class for us. She was the first teacher to ever teach me about topic sentences and how to use them, so thank you, Miss Reed, for saving my future college grade in English classes. Plus, as some of us slackers know, she provided the best hangout spot 5th period for all of us that had free periods then. But most importantly, Meinzen and Reed, and teachers like them, all of our teachers at our school, they provided a safe spot for teachers and students to come to. And they prioritized their students' mental and physical health over everything else. We were incredibly lucky to have our teachers. And I wish I could bring all of my teachers with me as I go off to college. And I'm sure some of you feel the same way. But I guess we'll have to settle for finally being allowed to add them on Facebook now that we're graduated. We of course cannot forget the Pleasant Hill Education Foundation, whose members spend hundreds of hours each year raising money for us. They've raised over $1 million since 1991, often without the appreciation they deserve. Then of course, there's the small business owners and farmers that employ us high schoolers, even though at first we usually have no idea what we're doing. Thank you, all. As Herman Melville once said, we cannot live for ourselves. 1,000 fibers connect us with our fellow men. I believe each and every Pleasant Hillian lives this way, whether they're a Billy or not, because our community is not just about our school. It's also about those poor taxpayers that got suckered into paying extra taxes to help fund our new school. It's about our neighbors, the ones who are always there to help us dig a hole, mend a fence, or catch a loose animal or two. From the very beginning of its founding in the mid-1800s, Pleasant Hill has always been there for each other. And we may not all be fierce pioneers risking our lives for each other like my ancestors were, but we do support each other. And whether your family has been here for centuries or you just got here, you're a part of Pleasant Hill now. You're a part of our community, whether you like it or not. And you will always have a home here. That's what makes Pleasant Hill, well, pleasant. Class of 2020, these are uncertain times. We don't know what kind of future we are walking into. I remember that last Friday before quarantine. We were all laughing, all excited that we would have an extra week of spring break thanks to COVID. We had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, I'm giving my graduation speech through video now. Who knows how rapidly things could change for our future? The real world is scary. Even aside from a pandemic, things are going to be scary. Despite Joe Neal's desperate attempt to help us by working on personal finance for over a month with us, half of us still don't know how to do our taxes. And do not even get me started on those poor stocks that we bought in class before COVID-19 hit us. And honestly, I can blame the virus all I want, but I knew I was going to lose all my money in my stocks either way. The truth is, there are going to be challenges ahead. You're going to be sad, you're going to be mad, and you might even be a little bit afraid. And there's absolutely nothing you can do to prevent that. The truth is, we Billies are special. And it may be as simple as knowing all of each other's names, but it's really not. As President Obama said in his speech to the class of 2020, build a community. No one does big things by themselves. But we already have a community. And that is why we were able to do such great things despite being so small. Look where we live. Look around you. See the sheep in the pasture across from Bonaventure's class. And look at all the new plants that Meinzen has planted around our new school, painstakingly, each year. And most importantly, look at all the dirty trucks parked in the school parking lot and the Dairy Mart parking lot, often parked crooked, because some of us need to learn how to park our F-150s. And finally, look at yourself. Look at the remarkable young person that our community has grown you into. Now it is time for us, the class of 2020, to give back to the people that have supported us all this time. And this is whether our community be our peers, our teachers, donors, coaches, parents, or even that poor car that you always cut off after school when you're trying to turn left. If you stay in Pleasant Hill, making it a better place, or you go to the ends of the earth, I hope you remember the community that you learned here. Knowing your neighbor's name, looking out for each other, and always lending a helping hand, or two if you're not Steve Smith. I hope you remember that we need each other, and not just in the middle of a pandemic. There are hardships, yes, but no one goes in this alone. And whether we've been raised here our entire lives or we're a brand new student, we all have a bit of pioneer spirit in us. It's the Pleasant Hill way. As the class of 2020, the world will never forget us. Most importantly, we will never forget each other. Thank you.
I can remember sitting on the sidewalk, waiting to be picked up on the last day of second grade, thinking, man, I still have 10 more years of this place. Years went by so slowly, and graduation felt like such a distant and impossible day that would never come. And somehow, just as second grade me predicted, graduation day never would come. But it's okay, because as a class, we've been through a lot worse together. And as we continue to enter the world and pursue different paths, we can use the knowledge and experience we've gained to help us be successful in life. I could sit here and give you a traditional speech about how much potential I see within the class of 2020 and how you have to work hard and know everything about a subject before you can chase your dreams. But the truth is you don't. You do not have to know everything. We didn't know everything in high school, and in life we won't either. And that's okay. Because whether you know or not what your passion might be, the truth is, it doesn't matter. You don't have to know. You just have to keep moving forward. Keep doing something, learn something, make opportunities out of nothing. It doesn't have to fit your vision of the perfect job or the perfect life. Perfect is boring anyways. Stay true to who you are. Be confident, yet humble, and don't ever let yourself give up. Keep driving deeper into uncharted territories because those are where the best opportunities come from. Doing that will feel hard, but breaking free of that feeling is how you can truly experience life. And if we can make it through that feeling together, we can overcome any challenge life has to offer.
Class of 2020, Pleasant Hill Billies. We are members of the Pleasant Hill Education Foundation. And what we've been doing for the last 30 years is raising money to give you the cool tools that help make education fun. With partnership with your teachers and community members, we've been working behind the scenes to try to help you have the best education possible. And we have one thing we wanted to tell you, Class of 2020. We wanted to congratulate you.
Congratulations! All right. I don't think that went too well.
What day? Day 4. Hello, Class of 2020. We are the members of the Pleasant Hill Education Foundation. Community members, staff, and hello, Class of 2020. We are the members of the Pleasant Hill Education Foundation, and we're here to wish you the best possible graduation and a wonderful future.
Congratulations!
Long.
That's kind of like 2020.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hello, Class of 2020. This is your school board and Superintendent Lindenberger here to say congratulations on your graduation. We're also very proud of you, and we know you will carry your Billy spirit of productive, compassionate citizenship out into the world. Congratulations, and do great things out there.